where there are more generalized versions. Later on, we got microcomputers, microcontrollers. So all these microcontrollers are next step of microprocessors, wherein they are dedicated for a particular task, so that will become cost effective and user friendly. And later on, now embedded systems came into the system. So more and more of the information you can push it into a smaller region or a console, so that everybody can use without much knowledge of what the system is doing. So that is the advantage. There is no need of any operator to operate, for example, a ECE unit. So simply some small controls once you learn that will do the purpose. But internally there is a hard work of engineers, not only electronics but also mechanical engineers. All clubbed together, you can get a AC unit of different types. So not only that, any instrument is required, not only electronics but mechanical, robotics, whatever you take. So all this signal processing is the other area where the noise is one of the important parameter for any communication, communication of information from one place to the other place. And of course, now everything is digitized. The world is now under digitization. So for this digitization, we should have digitization, digital filters, basically, which will help us to remove the noise levels at different positions, so that the quality of the information will be 100%. So if you can achieve the 100% quality, that's really appreciable. And as you see now, my communication with you is almost 100% because of this electronics, where we have the elimination of any noise components available in between is done by your amplifier and associated network available in the amplifier systems. So like that, in every stage, all these three fields, what we have mentioned, embedded systems or VLSI. VLSI is, of course, is the trump card of advanced research. Every day it is growing. There's no
Such an amazing video, and it was prepared and presented by Naveen, Sunil and Praveen from 3rd
Now I request our chief guest, academics Dr. P. Satyanarayana Garu, to release the department's hours.
Principal, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, participants and my dear friends, good morning to you all. It is now in my hand to propose mode of science, and rather makes me stand on a mode of science, proposing mode of science. It's just, there are many hands which are held in the organizing of this symposium, and there's a long list of names, and it might give you to propose a lot of things for everyone. And it starts with the chief guest, Dr. R. Ramakrishna Rao garu, for his speech and his presence available for us. And to the dream in our brand, important significance of dream in our brand, and Dr. P. Satyanarayan garu for his valuable speech. I also thank our management and principal, Dr. K. and followed by our HOD, Dr. A.R. Reddy garu, and Dean of Academic and R&D, and followed by our coordinator, Usha madam, Asha Devi madam, and at last, I'd like to thank the coordinator, student coordinators for all involved directly or indirectly for their support and valuable involvement in our. Thank you very much.
It uses 55 milliwatts. With 100% action, it uses 612 milliwatts. This is the memory. It has NAND flash and SD card. Usually, smartphones these do not use much power, but when they transfer or receive any data, they do use a lot of power. So, in network performances, we have learned about cellular communication, which is very important, and the antenna. Here we are in smartphones, we are using smart antenna, which directs towards the networks, so that it doesn't have to use too much power for the omnidirectional. Here we are seeing the graphical representation of network performance. The Wi-Fi has a maximum power consumption. Here we have additional modules such as GPS, camera module and Wi-Fi data. In GPS we are using rate adaptive positioning system, which activates GPS only when it is necessary and gives accurate data. The camera, in the system performances we have different study cases where we have taken audio, video, text message, phone call, emailing and web browsing. Okay. Under audio playback we are using 12.3 megabytes of audio file, and we are seeing that the graphics has maximum power consumption with this. We are running it for almost 537 seconds. The video playback we are using it for 5 minutes, and it's also 12.3 megabytes of very sensitive, and if you use too much of it, it can get leaked and everything you could use into smartphones will be a waste. Smartphones are basically to use new features and new applications, but we are not getting enough time to actually use all of them. So I'm saying we can use some conventional methods to reduce the battery consumption so that we can use to its utmost.
Conventional method means just using it required and use it only for voice.
Basically, I'm just telling you.
Mobile phone. When the power will be consumed more?
Most will be consumed when you are calling someone. The GSM always, even at idle state and suspended state, GSM takes up too much power.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
And applications of the work and advantages and disadvantages and conclusion. Intelligent successful system. Mainly communication depends upon the speed. At present, in the 21st century, wireless network is gaining because of speed and deployment. We are discussing about wireless systems. Optical communication means we mainly think about optical communication, fiber optics. But what we have discussed now is optical communication without wireless. What are the good requirements for good communication system? Is high bandwidth, low signal to noise ratio, and provide data security. FSO uses line of sight technology, which has at the transmitter it has a laser, and the receiver it has a photo detector, which is used to connect two points without the usage of fiber. And need for FSO frequencies, it requires less cost and it takes less time for transmitter as well as receiving, and it does not need any trenching. And here we use the medium of transmission is 3 fiber. The draw step is it is the receiver signal is converted back to optical and connected to network, and the reverse direction send.
By using the radios, but the demand is increasing for wireless technology day by day, but the radio spectrum is congested. We
present in the world. 5 millions of wireless devices are there, but there are base stations of 1.4 million. So that the capacity is very low. We use lot of power to transfer the data, but it is useful for the base stations full purpose only. By using Wi-Fi technology, we can transmit the data only in a single line of sight, that is only in one stream of light. But by using the LED, that means Wi-Fi technology, we can transmit data in different layers. In many years, that means we can transmit different data, more number of data in a single time. It is the working of Wi-Fi technology. That is the lamp which is actually input to the LED lamp. That is which converts the electrical signal into the light, and it has a microchip. It is fitted with a microchip which is the processing data, and it is the light. It is the photodioide is a light sensing device which accesses the signal light source, and it converts to the original form, and it is transferred to our devices. Suppose if you take in yellow they are LEDs at half, but we can use this, we can generate internet and process the data in different devices like laptops, printers, and laptops, printers, cell phones also. This is the picture of that.
Why should we go for Wi-Fi technology in communication? That means that advantage of Wi-Fi technology over Wi-Fi. The major advantages of Wi-Fi technology is capacity, availability, efficiency, and security. Coming to capacity, by using visible light spectrum, we can, in visible light spectrum, is 10,000 times greater than the radio wave spectrum, and light is black. Light is available in everywhere, and we can use the capacity of Wi-Fi is high compared to Wi-Fi. Next one.
Data in rooms can use data outside sunlight. Covered the problem. Is it possible to have one-to-one communication, because we are talking about it may be very useful for broadcasting, where the receiver will not send anything. Feedback is it possible to have feedback from receiver to back transmitter? See, you are communicating with the device, because there it is a communication bidirectional. Is it bidirectional communication or unidirectional communication?
The station is wireless communication for greenhouse systems. These are the major contents of the presentation. First of all, greenhouse is a place where the plants are grown under optimum conditions effectively. It is why we are going to this greenhouse system is that the minimum variations in the temperature may cause the maximum variations in the weather conditions. That means this variations in the climatic conditions may affect the plant growth. That's why we are going to this greenhouse system, and it should produce the crop production under the optimum conditions. And here we are using a WSN approach for controlling and monitoring of these greenhouse gases. In this WSN approach, the sensor nodes collect the data from collect the data and pass it to the base station, and this base station would take up the decisions, and the actuated nodes perform the appropriate actions. The main design objectives are it should require it should monitor and control the greenhouse system at the maximum possible low cost. This system will respond to the changes. This system must and should respond to the changes in the climatic conditions of 3 parameters. One is humidity, temperature, and soil moisture. These are the major requirements of the system. Because the low cost, this cost should be effective, and it should require less power, and it should be small in size. As it is a wireless system, it should work on any unlicensed band. The battery life of the system should be considered, because for the developing countries like India, it should there is a frequent need of power storage, and it should be robust in design. It should withstand the variations in temperature, wind speed, and rainfall, and it should be user friendly. User friendly means it should
the socio-economic needs of the farmers ought to be considered while finalizing this project, and this is the proposed model.
It's very cheaper for a developing country like India. This is very cheap for to use. Everybody can use this greenhouse control systems. These are low-cost maintenance, free sensors using monitor environmental, as the same system can be used monitor.
Right. So after doing so much, India is a country where a lot of human resources are available. When you are replacing these with these things, do you think that country will really develop?
It is a low-cost, that's why.
Low cost, but there are so much of manpower freely available. How do you justify your project now?
So it's this design basically keeping the socio-economic needs of the farmers.
Lot of manpower is available freely. They don't have any job. By implementing all these things, you are taking their job. How do you respond?
So they can have an industry of this, so many of them can have a job with this
No, you are taking out the job of the people. There are so many people to look after temperature, water, other
There's
things.
no wrong in using the technology, no, sir.
Huh?
There's no wrong in using the technology.
Anybody can sell.
We have a lot of manpower. We want to give some work to the people.
How you justify it?
How do you justify it? Instead of keeping this, I put people. I can give work to them.
So the same men can do it easily, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, next class.
Thank you, sir.
Time to be given 1 minute to conclude.
These are topic about the basic definition and what's the technical implementation of embedded systems, and the main objectives of this is that develop a security system that can be accessed through a touchtone phone or with your keypad, and it provides the ability to unlock or lock the door with your mobile phones, and it provides the illusion that someone is in home, and the introduction to the automation is first patented by Nikola Tesla in 1898, and all these are controlled through a smart device called a smart chip. And the small example for this remote monitoring is when a smoke is detected in a home with a smoke detector, then it alerts the occupant with an alarm sound, and a block diagram of security is explained by the Saroj.
This is a basic block diagram of what sensors we are implementing along with the microcontroller interfacing and what technology we are using for we are building into the microcontrollers. And this is a block diagram for watering the garden, and how that one is controlled by the microcontroller along with some sensors inside the soils, and input and output through the DC motors. And this is basically the power supply what we have implemented. We have used power IC of LM7805, that has first terminal is the input and the third terminal will give us the output. And that will give us a fixed 5 volt output, DC output for our practical ones. Yes, and this is the main part of our system, that is DTMF signal transmission. For DTMF, that is dual to multi-frequency signal, we can use some simple keypad phones or touch panel phones. And that will generate some, a single button in that will generate some dual frequency, and that will be compared to the decoder circuit. This one is our decoder circuit where the input will be taken by the tone as a tone, and that will be compared, and the fixed output will be given, and that will be compared along with the binary given. This is a simple chart what we get. After comparing the two values, that will be converted into the binary data, and along with that the binary data that we have 16 characters, so we use the 4-bit binary values, digital values. And this is the IR sensor what we can use for our security, and this will basically consist of the two sensors. When no any object is present, then the transmitted signal won't be received by the IR receiver, and that's what, when the signal object is placed in between, that will be reflected back, and in that way. And this is the basic block diagram. The internal structure that consists of the ICLM325, and that will just, this is a comparator IC which will compare, and that will give the output to the microcontroller. And this is another sensors what we have used is PIR sensors, that is basic infrared sensors. And this is technology that these sensors generally work on the basic principle of emitting the infrared through some object, or through those objects which are emitting the infrared. When the position is changed, the contents of the capacity, or what you can say the volume of infrared present in a certain square cube of area, that will be just fluctuating. On the basis of that, this sensor works. And it will also contain a differential amplifier, which will again just cancel out the that is the false radiations. That will compare the false radiation, that will give the output to the microcontroller. And this is our gas sensor. Gas sensor basically works on the principle as that it will contain a thin layer membrane where the gas will diffuse, and the electrode present inside that gas sensor that will just oxidize or reduce. Oxidation or reduction means simply the increment or decrement in the electrons that will ultimately lead, and that will lead the output to the increasing or decreasing current, which will be read by the microcontroller pods. And this one is the microcontroller MAC what we have implemented that contains the following structures. This is a high-speed microcontroller which can give you which gives us which is a 16 Mbps dual input package, and this is the main best thing. The best thing for that controller is that we have the A to D converter inside built in the microcontroller. This conclusion definitely what we need today is in our developing countries or even in developed countries is the security. Most of our countries are developing countries like India or some other Asian countries, they are lacking the security. But this is the thing what we can implement. We can just control the security when we are in the remote location, when we are in the outside, and these things we can control. This is the main part of this system.
Now we talk about PIR sensor. Whether the CIR sensors are in Asian countries?
Yes, which is available in our markets.
No, what is the principle behind our PIR sensor products?
That is the passive infrared sensors. Our object that emits the infrared that will be in a certain position. If I am standing, suppose here means my body is emitting the infrared. But if I change my position, the infrared.
That's why the infrared sensors will PIR sensors, especially where can the temperature of the environment is less than the body temperature.
Yes.
In Asia, generally we have higher temperature in summer. So how do you justify it?
But in this temperature also PIR sensor
I have not seen the movie called Hello Man. Yes. Hello Man we have seen. Hello Man. We have not talked about. So the PIR sensor basically won't work in Asian countries where the temperature of atmosphere is more than the atmosphere of our body temperature. Right? So in foreign countries where the temperature of the atmosphere is less than the body temperature, then it's actually the best.
That matter you will get through the data system. What range of temperature it will work at that condition will be.
Okay, still you are using the DDMF coder, which is a very old technology, and you are supposed to replace it. Right. Let's
The uses of the ECE Prom is that it is a non-volatile memory, and all the bytes stored cannot be erased even if the power is off. And here we use the 24C04 ECE Prom. It has about 1 million erasable and rewritten capacity, and it has a memory range of about 40 years, and this is a block diagram for the function of the prepared energy meters. Here the power supply will be take place in the relay, and if this actually the function starts when this power supply is recharged with ECE Prom recharge card similar to that of our mobile recharge cards. If this is recharged, automatically the power supply will be switched on, and these readings will be noted by ADC, and it is supplied to the microcontroller. Here the microcontroller will check whether will send the readings to the ECE Prom where the readings were initially stored. For every 1000 units decrement, a buzzer will be given that the units will be decremented, and after the complete of entire units, the buzzer will run continuously, and it will indicate the user that their slot should be recharged, and this will help for the user that how much power they were consuming every day, and how much. It is very helpful for them. This is the flowchart explaining the functioning of these energy meters. Here the microcontroller will read the memory from the ECE Prom and check whether the units are equal to 0 or not. If not equal to 0, it will allow power supply to the load, and the readings of this power supply were read by the EDC, and they were further supplied to the microcontroller for further processing. If the power supply is equal to 0, then the load will be automatically disconnected. The advantage of this ECE Prom is every unit can be effectively used by the user, and it will improve the liquidity of the electricity board, and it improves the economy of our country, and it is hassle-free for the consumer because it helps the consumer not to reduce the burden of consumer standing. And these are the future enhancements. Finally, I want to conclude that these energy meters will help to develop the economy of our country and reduces the burden of the consumers, and in turn. The righteous uses of resources will help for the right development of our future.
What are the disadvantages of this system?
I think compared to present system, it has no disadvantages. Present system, billing system, there is a chance of not paying the bill to the government. Many users were not paying actual bill to the government, and so that we can overcome this. Before we have to recharge these meters. Unless the recharge is done, our power supply will not be applied to our house.
That is for good people. So if there is no power, I just connect wires and take the power. Do you know most of these power activities done? They try to bypass the meter. That's all. Same thing can be done with this also.
Yes, sir, but somehow we can reduce the.
No. You can't reduce the ECE. Generally, power theft is done by bypassing the meter and putting directly into the line. This also is another is having this.
The power supply will express and readings are noted, but here if we recharge only, power supply will progress. Unless.
Okay. No, whether the systems are implemented in any other country like US or something else?
It is in progress.
It is in progress. It is still in the progress. But whatever the reason, because this technology is not that bad, that is not old, because GSM has come long back, almost 15 years have passed. Why it would not be implemented? What is the reason?
In India, all maximum uneducated people are there. How they will use this?
Now people are recharging their mobiles. Similarly, they can recharge their. Everyone is having mobiles, though they are uneducated. Similarly, they can recharge.
No, they can recharge, but how they can be benefited with this?
Some people may not know how to.
Power consumed.
How much power consumed will be displayed on the LCD of our electricity board. If for every unit consumption, a buzzer sound will be.
No, there is a postpaid thing or prepaid?
Only prepaid. Postpaid. Present thing is postpaid. This is a prepaid.
Prepaid is really a big problem, right? Sometimes you can't calculate the power. Let us say you have an emergency. You're supposed to put your heaters. There's no other option. And it should be postpaid there, and maybe whatever the bill comes, then they can pay it afterwards.
But at the same time, we are getting surprise bills also, so we can reduce.
Okay, thank you. I have a question from audience. Start.
High-speed speed electronics. As we all know, electronics market is increasing rapidly. We need the high speed and high accuracy with less errors. So ECE has given such a platform to us for less errors, high accuracy and high speed. The main objectives behind this high-speed speed electronics is that we introduce a new concept that is more reliable than the older versions like CMOS and other concepts. The basic design parameters are also shown over here, and different application fields that are rare than other electronics fields. That is only applicable by many of the schools are introduced over here. What is speed? Speed is a motion of electrons in an electromagnetic field. Motion of electrons in electromagnetic field over a device or over a speed. Simply we can say speed. Speed is nothing but superconducting quantum interference device. The main advantage of speed is superconducting quantum device is that it can change its state from superconducting state to normal, that is gate state, by control signal. That is very useful for gate level operation. Principles of speed operations. The main principle behind it is that speed is used in this electronics procedure. Speed is a device which is used that is making it more reliable and less space consuming also. So the other advantages of speed are that it is periodic over the transfer function is highly periodic, means perfectly periodic over time to finite, means finite phase, and it allows for a long period of time no distortion in the signal like triangular waves generated by this present over here. This is an example of the application. This is an example of main function that you can compute. It is a basic memory cell that we can compute from a speed device. It is really fast, and it can make the next generation computer more easier and more faster.
And fiber optics networking systems. Content interaction, digital and tracking, GPS, fiber optic wire, microphones, and transmission and receiver, and benefits, link, and transmitter and displays. Female bandwidth is having the transfer fiber network, and implementation and receives the data, and vibrations are produced in the railways, and automatically it produces the position of the rights. And India Railways contributes a large amount in transport, and it is known as a public model transport. And we have many of the tech-monitoring systems such as common medical and law. Here we are going for the door lock opening. Whenever there is whenever any member wants to open the door, automatically sends a message to the person, and they also capture the video at the same time in this module. Here, if any mobile is out of range, then the video capture data will be available with us. So that when we call occur, we can rewind the data and we can check the person and restore the system back to normal operation. Zigbee wireless sensor data transfer. Zigbee technology. Here we are using Zigbee technology. Zigbee technology is a wireless communication technology. It mainly works on 2.4 MHz ISM band with 20 to 250 kilobits per second data rate and 100 miles to 1.5 kilometers maximum transmission. Features of Zigbee. Zigbee provides data integrity check and authentication. It uses the collision avoidance mechanism and also it reserves dedicated time slot and have the certain bandwidth for the communication. We have different types of wireless technologies like the Zigbee, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, but we are preferring Zigbee mainly due to working its main advantage of working frequency, common range, low power consumption. It has good advantage due to this Zigbee. It has huge for certain distances, but compared to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, it will be very low. Features of Quick Control 167. Features of Quick Control 167 CMOS based arrays, 8-inch microcontroller with 4 pin pads.